All aboard. Come get your tickets, please. You must have a ticket to board the Polar Express. Watch your step, please, and only 3 to a bench. Only 3. Get your tickets. Watch your step, please. There's your ticket. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard.
How did they do this?
Welcome aboard. Polar Express. Watch your Welcome aboard the Polar Express. I have a few rules that I must go over before we begin our journey. Number 1, there is no talking. Number 2, you may not get up and move around the cabin because we will be traveling at high speeds and we do not want anyone to fall. And number 3, there will be no poking, prodding, or tickling your fellow passengers. Am I understood? Yes. Well then, let us begin our journey, where it all began. A long time ago, on Christmas Eve night, when I was very small. I lay in my bed. I didn't even rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently. I was listening for a sound. A friend insisted I would never hear. But I knew he was wrong. I was listening for the sound of Santa's ringing sleigh bells. My friend said, "There is no Santa." But I knew he was wrong. And later that night, I did hear a sound coming from outside. I raced over to my window, and I heard the sound of hissing steam and screeching metal. And there, out in my front yard, was a train standing perfectly still, with a conductor standing outside one of the cars. It was wrapped in steam, and snowflakes were falling gently all around it. The conductor pulled a large pocket watch out of his vest. He opened it and looked at it, and then looked up at my window. I put on my robe and my slippers, and I tiptoed down the stairs. I opened the front door, and I closed it behind me. I walked towards the conductor, and he shouted out, to him and said, "Where?" He said, "Why, to the North Pole, of course. This is the Polar Express." I took his outstretched hand, and he pulled me on board. When I got on the train, there were many children there, wearing their pajamas and their nightgowns just like you. And they were singing Christmas carols and eating cookies and drinking hot cocoa that was so delicious it tasted like melted chocolate bars. Would you like to have some?
Yeah!
Well, you got it!
Do it. Do it. There you go.
I like your dancing. How do they even do this? Oh my gosh, I can see through that. I know exactly why they're
All right, passengers, while you're enjoying your cocoa and your cookies, we are going to continue on our journey. When you're through with your refreshments, I would like you to stick your napkin in your cup and put it right under your bench. And we will pick it up after our journey ends. Do you understand? Very good. The Polar Express raced through towns and villages, and lights flickered as we went through them. We raced northward towards the North Pole. Soon there were no more lights to be seen, and we entered cold, dark forests where lone wolves roamed, and white-tailed rabbits scattered for cover as the Polar Express thundered through the quiet wilderness. Before we knew it, we were climbing mountains so high, I thought we were going to scrape the moon, but we never slowed down. We went faster and faster. We went up peaks and down through valleys, and I felt like I was on a roller coaster car ride. Soon, the mountain peaks turned to hills, and the hills to snow-covered plains. We crossed a barren desert of ice, the great polar ice cap. We saw lights flickering in the distance, and it looked like a strange ocean liner on a frozen sea. There, the conductor yelled, is the North Pole. And there it was, the North Pole, standing all alone at the top of the world. And it was where every Christmas toy was made. We could see the factories. It was then when one of the children said, "But where are the elves?" "Well, they're gathering in the center of the city," the conductor told us. "That is where Santa will give out the first gift of Christmas." "Who'll receive the first gift?" we asked. It was then that the conductor said, "It will be one of you. The train continued further, and before I knew it, one of my new friends said, look there! And we looked out the window, and that's when we saw the elves. There were hundreds of them gathering towards the center of the city. Our train slowed to a crawl and suddenly stopped. The conductor led us down the stairs, and we walked outside. As we pressed through the crowd, there, standing before us, was a beautiful sleigh. The reindeer were connected by a harness, and they were jumping up and down excitedly. And that's when I heard the silver sleigh bells. It was the most magical sound I had ever heard in my whole life. All of a sudden, the elves let out a cheer. And I turned, and there, marching right towards me, was Santa Claus. He stopped, and he looked down at me, and he said, "I choose you." And with that, he hopped up into his sleigh. The conductor picked me up and put me on Santa's knee. Santa looked down at me and said, "Now, what would you like for Christmas?" And I knew that I could have anything I could possibly imagine, but there was only one thing that I truly wanted. I whispered it in Santa's ear, and he looked at me and smiled and nodded his approval. He called over one of the elves, and he told him what to do. And that elf went over to the sleigh, and he cut off one silver sleigh bell. He handed it to Santa, and Santa stood and said, "The first gift of Christmas!" The elves cheered wildly, and that was when we heard the clock strike midnight. It was time for Santa to go. He handed me this beautiful silver bell, and I tucked it in my bathrobe pocket. He set me down on the ground. And with that, he stood. He got his whip. He cracked it across the front of the sleigh and called out the reindeer names. On Dasher, on Dancer, on Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. And with that, the reindeer rushed forward and lifted that sleigh up into the sky. It circled the city twice. And Santa yelled out, "Merry Christmas! Ho, ho, ho!" The elves cheered loudly. And with that, the sleigh raced off into the polar night sky. The conductor said, "Hurry, children, hurry. We must get back to the train. We have to get you home before Santa can deliver your gifts." We raced back to the train, and when we got on, all my friends said, "Let's see the gift. Let's see your bell." And it was then that I stuck my hand in my pocket to pull out the bell. But it was empty. All I felt was a hole. I had lost my bell. One of my new friends said, "Oh, come on, let's go outside. We'll help you find it." And when we went to leave, it was then that we heard the train whistle. And we moved forward. And the train pulled out of the North Pole and raced towards home. Before I knew it, I was back in front of my house, and it was time for me to leave. I was sad to leave my new friends, but I had had the most magical night of my life, one that I'll never forget. I stepped down off the train and walked towards my house. It was then that I heard the conductor yell something to me. "What? What did you say?" I asked. And he yelled, "Merry Christmas!" And with that, the Polar Express raced off into the night. I went back inside my house, and I went to bed. And before I knew it, my sister was shaking me. "Wake up! Wake up! Santa came! Let's go downstairs and see what he got us." We raced down the stairs, and there before us was the tree, and there were beautifully wrapped presents all over it. We opened up all our gifts, and we were so happy. But before you knew it, my sister said, "Wait, there's one more down here, and it has your name on it." And she handed it to me, and it said it was from Mr. C. I took off the lid, And inside there was a note, and it said, "You better fix that hole in your pocket. I found this on the bottom of my sleigh." And there it was, my beautiful sleigh bell, the very bell that Santa had given me. When I rang the bell, my sister said it was the most beautiful sound she'd ever heard. And my mother said, "Oh, that's too bad." And my father said, "Oh, why would someone give you a broken bell?" Over the years, my friends stopped hearing the sound of that ringing bell, and so did my sister. But I've never stopped hearing the sound of this bell. And even to those who truly believe. And that's why Santa asked me to be the conductor on this Polar Express train. Because I rode it when I was this small, and now I'm here to share my story with you.
Special delivery from Santa.
What's this? Why, there's a letter in here. Should I read it? It says, "Dear Conductor Wain, I enjoyed hearing your story of the Polar Express. It's one of my favorites. I hope all the children are excited for Christmas. Please tell the children to remember the true meaning of Christmas. We all receive the beautiful gift of a newborn king. I have decided to share a Christmas bell from my sleigh. This bell will be the first gift of Christmas. One of these children will receive the bell. I have sent a special sack of candy canes that my elves made special for these children. Inside the sack of candy canes is one green candy cane. Whoever pulls the green candy cane will win the first bell of Christmas. I do have some special rules, though. All the children must close their eyes and keep them closed tightly until every single one pulls the candy cane. And remember, children, I will be watching. If you happen to open your eyes, I may consider taking one gift off my sleigh and replacing it with underwear in your stocking." This first bell, this first gift of Christmas, should be a special reminder for all those who truly believe. I hope they will always hear the sweet sound of the ringing bell. Ho, 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 and Merry Christmas from Santa Claus. So he sent you, his elves made special candy canes just for you. Close your eyes. Follow the rules. Close your eyes. Everybody, I'm not starting until all your eyes are closed. Put your hand down. Eyes closed. I'm not starting until your eyes are all closed. Do not open them until I tell you.
Think of him when Christmas comes to town.
Don't open them.
The best time of the year, when everyone comes home. With all this Christmas cheer, it's hard to be alone. Putting out the Christmas tree, with friends who come around. So much fun when Christmas comes to town.
Christmas. 1, 2, 3.
That's all I want. Christmas comes to town.
And the first gift of Christmas. I hope you will always hear the sound of the sweet ringing bell. You're welcome. Show everybody.
No.
What do you say to Ava? All right, boys and girls, you may enjoy your special treat from Santa, your candy canes that the elves made especially for you. Okay. While you're enjoying them, I'd like you to help me do something. Can you help me with something?
Yes.
You better not shout, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Why? Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list and checking it twice. Better find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better not shout, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Why? Santa Claus is coming to town. Mrs. Giles and Mrs. Tortorici and Mr. Mooney, could you please come here, please, to see us? I'd like you all to give a big hand to these wonderful people who helped our journey on the Polar Express. This couldn't have happened without them. They helped do so many different things. So a big round of applause is good. How about this? And how about a round of applause for Mrs. Wain? And now they are going to serenade you with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yay!
Yes. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, reindeer, had a very shiny nose, like a light bulb. And if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows like a flashlight. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names like Pinocchio. Never let poor Rudolph join any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, ho, 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 Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? And how the reindeer loved him, and they shouted out with glee, yippee! Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history like George Washington. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Ha, 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 hills on bobtail green. Making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. All right, boys and girls, we hope you enjoyed your journey on the Polar Express. You may keep your ticket as a souvenir. You can use it as a bookmark.
Oh, yeah.
And you may line up at the steps. Please watch your step. You may go look at the Christmas Village.
Where is the Christmas Village? Christmas Village is in